weird. So weird. Welcome back, everybody, to a special edition of the Cousin Connection podcast. I am joined by my lovely cousins.
What's up?
Hello.
We're obviously missing Amir, but we decided to do a girls' chat today. So before we get into it, I think we have some explaining to do.
Oh, yeah.
For those watching the video.
For those watching the video. For those
first of all, we're in LA.
Oh, yeah. So
well,
we are in LA. But before we get into it, let's just introduce everyone in case you don't already know who they are. Introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Iman. I'm a cousin.
I'm Nabat, also Sukar Nabat.
Mm-hmm. My name is Aysha, and contrary to how Amir always pronounces my name, it is in fact Aysha, and I'm Amir's sister. Also the Aysha Harun. Anyways.
So, it's our last night in LA, and
Last few hours, literally.
Yeah, last few hours, Amir kind of forced us. And by the way, I'm going to insert a clip. Well, Amir will insert the clip of our live audience. I'm going to just take a quick one right now just to show how dedicated everybody is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. I just want you guys to see how dedicated they all are. Before we get into our episode this week, let's just discuss what happened to our homegirl, Nabat. Nabat, I feel like you should tell the story.
I mean, there's not much to tell. I got on Amir's one-wheel thing, whatever it's called. I was trying to be adventurous and try something new. And then I fell off trying to get off of it.
Mind you, you're doing this on concrete, which I refuse to do my own, and it's literally.
Have
mine.
you not been on it yet?
I only ever do it on like carpet in the hallway.
Oh.
I never take it outside.
Yeah, I mean, I did it earlier on in the day, and it seemed pretty smooth. So I said, let me, one last time.
You did with parental supervision.
Yeah, but I let go, and I was doing it on my own. And I thought, I could do it again for one last time. And then I fell off getting off of it, and my knee kind of bent in, and I landed on my wrist. So I have like I'm assuming a sprained wrist and a very bad swollen knee that I can't walk on. But we're going to Toronto tomorrow. I will... Inshallah, they let me on the plane. I will get on the plane and go straight to the emergency room because I will not pay for the healthcare fees in this country.
So as you guys can see, you better give this video a huge thumbs up because we have crippled Nabat who's still showing up.
Not good Nabat, it's crippled Nabat now.
I am being held hostage here. I can't move, and they're recording here, so I am also on this podcast.
Oh man, it's okay. At least it happened like at the very end of the trip. You
Exactly.
had an amazing trip. We kept talking about how amazing the whole trip was. The weather was perfect.
You know what? I always say that we never travel without struggle, and it was too good to be true because we were about to make it through the whole trip without struggling once. And I said,
You took one for the team.
She did. She really did.
Okay, inshallah, you'll heal soon, quickly.
So this week we are actually doing do you want to call it a Hijabi Talks?
Yes, it's kind of like a throwback to Hijabi Talks. If anyone remembers that, I think it was back in. It must have been over 5 years at this point.
2016, I think.
It started in 2016, and then I think it carried on into 2017. And I still to this day get requests to bring it back.
We do
5 years
too,
later,
which is like we're totally separate now from that, but we still get asked to do it.
People, honestly, I think we were ahead of our time.
We are. We really were ahead of our time.
Yeah, we were a little controversial, but
we were.
People enjoyed it. People enjoyed the conversation.
So some of you guys sent us questions on Aysha's channel and also on ours. I don't know. Do you want to start or should I?
You start.
Okay.
It's a Cousin Connection podcast.
Okay. Here's the first question, guys. Is it okay to have a guy friend? If yes or no, why is it okay and why is it not okay?
Ooh.
Wow.
You know, I go back and forth with this. Sometimes
too.
I'm like, it's fine. But other times I'm like, I could see why it would be an issue.
And I think it depends like how close you are to the guy friend, you know?
Like this.
You can be friends with a guy, but I don't think you can be like best friends with a guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's limits to your friendship.
Yeah.
You have to have boundaries. And I think if there's no attraction between you two, then you can actually be friends.
That's true.
But if there's some sort of like attraction between you guys, I don't think you can ever just be friends without feelings growing on either end.
Yeah.
But there's always going to be some kind of attraction, not even physical, but like you might like their personality, and then that can grow into something else. So
Yeah.
there's always going to be some kind of attraction, like, you know.
I think
your
to a
friend for a
certain
reason.
extent, like not like best friends. I think they can be friends,
Yeah.
but not best friends.
I agree.
Yeah. I don't know.
So what do you
Anyone
think
in the
about-
audience wanna share that? I don't know. I just feel like at some point someone will catch feelings.
Yeah.
they're
Unless there's
best
like
friends.
zero, like,
If there's zero attraction, even then, like girls look over that. Maybe the man I feel like can't look over if he doesn't find a woman attractive.
Some men in the audience. What do you guys think?
yeah, we have several men in the audience. What do you guys think?
Why y'all quiet all of a sudden?
They're like holding their breath.
No.
I don't believe they can be best friends.
Okay. We got one that says they don't believe.
Men and women becoming friends possible. Becoming best friends, I don't think so.
Mm.
Somebody will get feelings.
Yes.
But like, what exactly is like? Would you consider a friend? When did they become a friend?
So like, there's a friend who you talk to casually. You may hang out with them once in a while, but a best friend is like someone that you confide in, your go-to person. Like you might as well be together if that person's the opposite.
Yeah, I don't think that would ever be appropriate for like
Yeah.
boy and girl at that point.
Yeah.
Unless you're like childhood friends or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Childhood friends, yeah, maybe. But even then, it's like you can have a childhood friend, but you're not really seeing them all the time, you know? If it's a best friend, you see them all the time, you talk to them all the time. At that point, y'all are just in a relationship, but not really. Like,
Yeah,
and,
like what's
you know,
stopping you guys from being
what's
in a
the difference?
relationship, right? Like,
Yeah.
If you're hanging out all the time, confiding in that person,
Into the mic.
like they are basically dating.
I agree.
there you go. Simple. Simple.
Okay, so we're all on the same page.
I'll just say that like the part of being best friends is when you become vulnerable with someone and you're able to share, and that vulnerability is what usually leads to feelings.
Yeah.
So
That emotional
that's why
connection.
there's like the boundaries of how close you can be. But you can be good friends with the opposite gender and like without being super personal, and
Yeah.
like even if you want to confide in a friend, like you can always confide and like get advice. But when you're breaking that boundary and becoming vulnerable and like really like giving your everything, then it becomes where like feelings develop, and then it becomes like
An issue.
yeah.
If yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it's an issue, sometimes it's not. Then they just found their person in a best friend. But
That's
if the other person's in a relationship, then yeah, that's when things become tricky.
If it's a relationship, the only way that it's okay is if you're like both of you guys become friends.
Yeah.
Like mutually. You can't have like you
Like
can't be in a relationship and then this is my friend. This is
Yeah.
our friend.
Yeah, I
like
agree.
we are all friends together.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Okay, we have another relationship one. How do you get to know someone before you get married without dating them?
Say that again.
How do you get to know someone before you get married without dating them? I don't know.
You talk,
I mean, yeah, the obvious answer.
text,
Yeah.
phone calls.
Pen pals.
What is
basically.
dating like? What is
I think
Going
dating
out
is like
and-
the Western idea of dating, like going out on dates and stuff. And
you can do it without like crossing a boundary.
group dates?
Group dates, hangouts.
But you know,
Can you
even
really
then,
get to know
even
someone,
then,
though?
Sometimes people don't like. They'll call it like free mixing. You know.
oh,
So even then,
I
like-
didn't even think of that.
So honestly,
Friends.
Yeah, you get to
Going to
hang
friends
out with
day.
your dad.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I guess.
yeah,
Have
you
people
become
around.
friends with them, get to know them. I mean, if you don't feel comfortable hanging out in person, then I mean, there's a phone you can call.
Yeah.
Text.
Yeah, but I wouldn't rely too heavily on just like, unless it's long distance, of course. Like, I wouldn't rely strictly on phone and text.
But like, if you think about it, like before or like Islamic dating, like they would have 1-2 conversations and then they would get married.
No, they have chaperones and stuff. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're not comfortable meeting in person or whatever, like a lot of times, what you need, you just ask what you need to know for marriage, right?
I guess.
Right?
Yeah.
Like dating in our sense, like Western dating is like spending so much time with someone. You date for like months. Islamically, like you talk, you get to know, you ask what you need to know, and you get married. Like you can have phone conversations. If you're not comfortable, just extend it. Like ask more questions, take the time you need, but you don't necessarily have to be like going to the movies or, you know, like just spending quality time. You need to know what you need to know for the marriage portion.
Yeah,
Right?
that's fair. I mean, people mostly date to get to know someone, right? Like you want to be sure before you make that decision, and so you're basically still dating without calling it dating. You're just talking to them.
That's why I'm like, this whole term.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, don't call it dating, but it is what it. Oh, don't call it dating, but it is what it is at the end of the day.
Exactly.
I don't know. Do you have another thought?
I think, yeah, I guess you're right.
Come on. Harder than you think.
I think the dating part is more like holding your partner to certain expectations and like, where like you can be friends with the person and like it's not dating because I don't, you know, you have certain expectations for boyfriend and girlfriend and all that.
Like exclusivity,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
exclusivity, things like that. So.
But I mean, I think if you make your intentions clear from the jump, like, yes, I'm going to talk to you, air quotes, for the purpose of marriage, like I think those expectations are still kind of there as long as you communicate them.
Yeah.
Like never, the way that I would see it, like if I was someone who was particular about, okay, I'm not going to date and I wanted to talk to someone for the sake of marriage, like I would put my expectations forward. We may not call it dating, but I mean, that's just if I was in that position.
Are like one of those expectations to stay exclusive?
Well, yeah, like you're not going to get to know someone for marriage while he's talking to like 3 other girls. That's weird.
But that does happen a lot because people use the term single until married.
I mean, so do I, but you know.
Exactly. So then it's like, so.
But I think obviously like that's in the beginning, right? But once you get like serious about someone, like, okay, you know what, I think I could see this person as my future partner. Like you want to be exclusive and you'd only hope that they would also want to be.
Yeah.
Fair.
You never know. Like they might not be on the same page as you. Like you might see them as like, oh, I want to get married, but then they're still like exploring their options.
Yeah.
You guys really have to like communicate and
over communicate.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because if you don't explicitly say it, you don't have a case.
That's true.
You know, but you never said it.
That's
You know?
very true. Okay, next question. What are your views on people who remove their hijab? I feel super guilty, but I feel more myself. It's very hard to deal with.
Just in general?
Yeah, I guess.
I feel like, I mean, if it's an individual person, there's not much someone can have an opinion on, you know?
yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. That person took it off. I think when it becomes an issue and maybe something that, like, could potentially be discussed is when it's, like, a public figure and, like, we see this trend of like them building their entire careers off being a hijabi, doing brand campaigns off of being hijabi, and then take it off and then dismiss the fact that they were. You know, I think that's when it kind of becomes a topic of discussion, or could potentially in a sense where it's like, okay, even though someone has taken it off, it doesn't mean I'm influencing you to now take it off. But from an individual perspective, like a random girl that just took off their hijab, I mean that's her. That's what she wanted to do. So
yeah,
I
like
don't know.
Everyone's
How do I
on their own individual journeys. Sorry. everyone's on their own individual journeys.
Yeah.
And like, who are we to say anything really? Of course, we can like advise them from a religious perspective, but everybody's on their own path, you know, and you just have to like, you know, encourage them in a way that wouldn't make them feel weird to put their hijab back on, but just support them because yeah, everyone's on their own journeys. So
I think the way not to do it is to like ostracize them.
Yeah.
Make them feel horrible about it, because then they'll just feel even more guilt.
Yeah, and I think, you know, no one's perfect, right? So even if you do take it off, it doesn't mean that you're going to keep it off forever. Like, we all are going through our own hijab journeys, I think. I can speak for all of us in that front. But,
for sure.
Yeah, you're right, Aysha, about, like, the women who are in the public eye or are social media influencers. And I think that whether they like it or not, they hold a certain level of responsibility because you are now an influencer, and you know, whether you want to say it or not, you are influencing people by your actions and what you post. And in a sense, it's almost like you have a responsibility. Like, if you want to make that decision to take off your hijab, like, that's on you. But I almost feel like you're almost like responsible to be like, this is me. Like, that is if you don't want to influence people to follow your footsteps, to kind of give
Make
that
a distinction.
disclaimer.
Yeah. The disclaimer is good. I think, because it's interesting, because I get comments all the time from people like saying that they started wearing the hijab because of me.
That's amazing.
And it's like, if people are wearing the hijab because of me, if someone takes it off, I'm sure people are taking it off because of other people too. Even though it should be an individual experience, there's no denying that like people of influence, like that they have influence.
Yeah.
So it's like, addressing it in a manner where like, okay, I may feel comfortable taking it off right now, or this is like my journey right now, but that doesn't necessarily mean this is what I'm telling you guys to do. I think, I forget who, but someone like that had taken off their hijab like explained it that way, and they're like, I know I'm doing this wrong.
I don't remember which one
and I know this is not, you know, in compliance with the religion, but like but I'm not telling you to do it. So that distinction is like important, especially when you have like an audience and young people that like look up to you. But at the end of the day, like,
I also feel like, it's a sensitive topic, and the women who choose to take it off, they're already in defense mode because they know the type of backlash they're going to get.
Can we close the window? It's kind of cold, no? Yeah. It got really cold. I've like just noticed that I'm like holding the mic and I'm like shivering. Sorry. Interrupted you.
But I was just saying, like, I know it's a sensitive topic, but you kind of just, if you're going to make that decision, you kind of just have to brace yourself for what's to come.
Yeah.
Do you think dressing modest as a curvier Muslim female is more difficult?
Yeah.
I said it. Yes, it is. Just because, like, finding clothes that fit in a certain way while still trying to look presentable is hard. Yeah. So I don't know what else to say. Yes.
I think it's also just frustrating because, like, I enjoy fashion. I like sharing fashion. I feel like 90% of what I wear is extremely modest. Not extremely modest. It is modest to my views, at least, and to like majority of people that I surround myself with. But it's like sometimes when I wear certain things, because it fits, I guess, more snug in certain areas, I get comments from people being like, this is so immodest. And I'm literally covered head to toe, forehead to chin, ear to ear. Ankles are covered. Everything. I'm wearing boots. I'm wearing gloves. Might even be wearing a scarf, like, over my, over my face.
Yeah.
And someone will still say something. So, but then it's like, on the other hand, you see people that are they're just skinny. So obviously things look more like oversized on them and whatnot. And like no one says anything. It'll be the same dress. It'll even look very similar. Mine just maybe fits a little bit more over my boobs, And so it's frustrating. I think like people like dismiss how difficult it can be to dress modestly as a curvy person. And like that's why I enjoy sharing so much like fashion content, because of that. It's like you really do have to work 10 times harder. Like, this may be controversial, but I feel like if you're skinny, you can make anything look good. But if you're not skinny, if you're curvy, like you actually have to have a fashion taste. Like you actually have to know how to dress to make yourself look good. So I feel like it's like 10 times harder for us.
And just also like curvier people, like it's like everyone is also different body shape. So like what works for you does not work for me. We are curvy in different ways. So there's just so many different like even if curvier out like clothing doesn't always work for you, so you're already just limited on what you can wear, and then other things that like makes you 10 times bigger, like it doesn't look like what you would look like. So it's like, do I look like a balloon
Yeah,
but be modest, or like more fitted but at least I look like a human, you know?
Yeah. There was this like TikTok thing going around, and like a hijabi influencer, she made like a video on it, and I think the sound was like, am I showing off my boobs or do I just have boobs and exist? And I'm like, that's literally it. You know, people just, I don't know, they get triggered when they see someone with over a size 2 on social media.
I find that so weird because like it's very clear now that everyone has a different body type. Like no one looks exactly the same as someone else. So why is that so triggering to see like a curvy, modest fashion influencer?
Yeah. Or just person in general.
Yeah, person in general.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find that weird.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think of my statement last couple episodes where I was saying that men are the prize?
That's so random.
That's so oh hell no.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying, okay? I feel like because you guys had some opinions on it.
Yes, we did.
And of course, I want to know what your opinions on it, but like here, and have it on camera.
Do you guys think that men are the prize?
No.
Of course
But you
not.
can't deny the fact that there is a scarcity of men out there, okay?
No. But let me put it to you this way, okay? You're only saying men are the prize because they're allegedly like the supply and demand isn't matching up.
Yeah, so we hold the leverage.
Not really. Because I don't think women have reached a point of desperation where they're like, I'll just go for this guy. They still have standards, and that's okay to have standards.
There's going to be a lot of alone women out there.
And I think they're okay with that, though.
I just don't understand the term men are the prize, because it's like you need a woman to have your baby, to take care of your baby, to wash your clothes, to do all these things, to take care of a household. Okay, maybe not the clothes part. I don't really do laundry. But just to take care of the household, the woman is like takes care of the household. That's what it is. So it's like you need to find a woman that is worth doing all of that. Not worth doing all that for you, but like that you can trust with your livelihood for the next, I don't know, 40 to 50 years. So that woman needs to be that prize for you. If you're not finding that, you can find any woman. She's not going to be the prize. And a woman can find any man. She can get a child from him, and she gets her livelihood. She can do what she wants with that child, you know? But a man needs to find a good woman that is worth being the mother of their child. And that's the prize, in my opinion.
I agree in a lot of senses, but I also think like women and men like work in harmony. Like they're both prizes in their own way, you know? Like,
okay.
Yeah,
Amir's like, yes.
Oh no, I was just saying I have to put the mic up to your mouth.
Wow. I really thought you were supporting her.
I thought I was spitting some bars, but
You were, sis. You were.
But yeah, no. like there's just so many qualities that women can add to the table and men add to the table, and then you know they make a whole like little meal, like, you know. There's just I think everyone has qualities, and like there is no prize. Like everyone has to work in harmony together to like raise a family, to do anything really. Yeah.
Where did that phrase even come from, men are the prize? I feel like that
I've never heard of that before. I think that the first time I heard it was
came from
you.
No, I've heard it before. I feel like
Really?
It probably came
I
from
guess I'm
Future.
on the wrong side of TikTok.
Possibly. Future, possibly. That whole like
Toxic
toxic
man.
masculinity and like men versus women
It's from
debate.
Andrew
That
Tate. I
yeah, like the whole Andrew Tate, that sort of stuff. I feel like it started from there. Amir, do you believe that men are the prize?
I think
Cool point.
low key.
Actually? Can you explain yourself?
No, like I explained myself in the car last time.
No, but that was in the car.
This is a Hijabi Talks, I'm just here to,
Put a hijab on, bro.
Listen, all I'm saying is the man needs to provide the dowry or the mahar, not the woman. And she's entitled to whatever she wants. So if a man has to pay something for him to be the prize, I don't know. I think what I said in the car was I think the marriage is the prize for both of the people. Like that's what you guys are, if you guys are together and trying to build a life together, that's what the prize is for you. That's like the end goal for you. But I don't know.
You gotta be confident with your thing.
I am very confident with it, but I'm just,
So you think women are the prize?
Well, I'm not saying men or women are, but I think in this, if he's asking in this debate, I'm explaining reasons as to why women are also considered the prize.
Yeah, defending us.
But I also don't really, I don't really get that phrase, but I think a woman provides a lot within a marriage.
The men seem to agree with me.
Nah, they're pretty quiet right now.
A woman literally raises your child,
How do you navigate being a practicing Muslim in a majority white corporate environment?
Okay, so it's honestly really hard to navigate because a lot of the people that you work with don't understand your religion. So you kind of have to explain it to them, but also be confident in, your views and practice. People are actually a lot less judgmental than you think. Like if you just explain it to them and explain the importance of your faith, like they understand. So you have to just be strong in what you believe in and practice, and people will support you. So it's hard at first, but you just have to be confident in who you are, and people are okay with it, I find. How about you?
I think that like naturally, at least the way I was growing up is like you try to people please and you try to like water yourself down for like other people, make yourself more palatable, being like, oh yeah, like I remember when I was growing up, I'd be like, yeah, I wear the hijab, but like, I'm not like one of those like super religious people. And like, what does that even mean? Like, like I grew
exactly
up
what you're talking about because I used to see the same.
Yeah, like you try to make yourself like less, I don't know, just sound like more palatable. But I think just like growing up, what's wrong? Okay. I think growing up you just kind of like realize that you start to give less SHITs. I don't know if you guys
we do
use that word on here. About like what people think, and you just kind of like, okay, this is who I am, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do my work here. But at the end of the day, like, why am I watering myself down?
Yeah.
Like, well, literally, what is the reason?
Yeah, it definitely comes with time and age, though.
Yeah, it comes with age, for sure.
Growing up in middle school and stuff like that, it's not obviously a corporate environment, but in middle school or like early high school, there might not have been a lot of Muslims where you grew up, and media, it's not really like promoting Islam and stuff like that. So it's really hard to navigate. Like,
yeah, and
as
I think
a teenager.
It's hard as a teenager, but I think also in the corporate world, because it's like there's this whole corporate culture of like going out for drinks and hanging out with, hanging out with your whatever your what are they called, coworkers after work, or like just different things like that. I think just setting boundaries from the beginning, like don't participate in anything that you don't feel comfortable with just because you're trying to get on someone's good side or whatever. Like maybe beforehand or like as soon as you're hired in a position, talk to your managers and just be like, okay, this is what I do. I'm gonna need, a couple minutes out of each day to pray over here or whatnot. And just kind of like, or just do what you want to do. I don't know.
Yeah, I think like similar to what you guys said, it kind of comes with age, and the more you know about yourself and the more you feel comfortable and confident within yourself, you're able to establish those boundaries. And like I know I went through it working in the corporate industry. Like everything that you guys said is so true. Like I went out for drinks, even though I don't drink. I sat there with my water, like pretending like I was having the time of my life. I can't relate to you guys. I'm sorry, but I would do that. And but I think as you get more comfortable with yourself, and I think all it really takes is just explaining it, because after that incident where I went out for drinks with some of my coworkers, I went out for dinner a couple weeks later, and there was like 2 of them, and they were like, we're kind of curious, like, tell us about your religion, like, how do you, what makes you comfortable? And so like I really appreciated that conversation with them, and I was able to explain things, and they were so happy. Like, they're like, thank you so much for sharing, like, we feel like we know you better. And I think that's honestly it, because sometimes ignorance is what causes that judgmental.
Yeah. You
like,
can't just expect everyone to know.
Exactly. So
about
we
everything.
I feel like it's a give and take, right? Like, you explain where you're coming from, and I don't think someone's faith stops them from doing their job, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know what like, just because I wear a hijab doesn't mean I'm not as smart as somebody else, So unfortunately for us, I feel like we do have to work 10 times harder than our male counterparts, but that's okay. I feel like at this point we're used to it. It's not fair, but we're used to it, and so that's kind of how I've navigated through life so far.
Do you think Gen Z hijabis have it easier growing up in the West than your generation did growing up?
For those of you guys that are tuning in on video, thank you guys for watching part 1 of our Q&A with the girls. If you want to watch part 2, head on over to Aysha's channel, and we'll finish off the questions over there.
Woo!